Morning y'all, my name is Otis and I live and work on a campsite which I'm going to tell you about a little bit in today's video. But today is actually my day off as well as tomorrow, so I'm going to drive down to Glencoe, which is about a 2-hour drive, bring you along on that journey. But first, if you didn't know, this is day 5 of a set of 30 videos that I'm doing for YouTube to try and create consistency, routine and structure in my life. So I've got a little morning routine that I need to crack on with and get done first. So we'll get that done and then we'll hit the road. Alright, I'll see you in a bit. Alright, here we are then. I did it. I wanted to leave between 12 and 1 and it's 12:40. So technically I did it. And I also grabbed a coffee, £2.70 staff discount. Come on. So yeah, it's a little treat to myself. Let's do it. Let's get on the road. Let's go. Let's go to Glencoe. Never been to the West Coast, never driven through Glencoe. I'm expecting some astounding views. Everybody has just raving reviews. So yeah, I'm excited. Let's do it. Road trip. I do love hopping in the van and going for a drive. There's something about just driving and going somewhere. It's awesome. Love a little road trip. I'll probably listen to some music in a bit. But I wanted to tell you about living and working on a campsite. In the last 3 months, I've lived and worked on 2 campsites, and they varied in terms of their roles and the size of the campsite and what I was getting up to. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about that, but then I'm also going to tell you what it's like sort of in a generic sense living on a campsite, because in a way I live in my van and I feel like this is sort of like a halfway point to van life, because imagine I had a caravan or a cabin and I was on a campsite. It's not quite van life. You're not living. Yes, I am living in my van every single day and I sleep in my van every single day, but I'm not having to find new park ups, and there are other benefits as well to being on a campsite, which I'm going to tell you all about. But first, let's talk about the different roles that I had, because I do much more enjoy the role that I've currently got. And the previous role, whilst it was good, there was a couple of things that I didn't enjoy so much about it. But I'm going to tell you. So the previous job that I had was in the Yorkshire Dales, and it was great because I really liked the fact that there was a little warden area, and that was where everybody that worked for the campsite lived in their vans. And there was one lady who had a caravan, and then there was two guys who both lived in their vans, and then there was me, and then there was the two campsite owners that lived on a house on the estate. I say estate, it wasn't like crazy big. 170 pitches, 8 walker cabins, 4 pods, and then they had sort of a big Edwardian house which could sleep up to 16 people. And I really enjoyed that job. Like, I hadn't had a sort of job, so to speak, for a while. I was doing something else to earn money online, so I hadn't had like a physical thing that I was turning up to each day. And I really enjoyed like being part of the team, and you know, being part of a team, there's a lot to be said about that. Like, it sort of does something for your brain. You kind of feel good, you're contributing to something that's not just you. And you know, they were very, very busy. It was a very busy time of the year, people coming in and out, and they were looking to escape, and I was part of, you know, welcoming those guests in and making sure that they had a good time. And I enjoyed it. You know, it was good fun. But there was a certain part of the role that I didn't like, which was cleaning the facilities. And I doff my cap to anybody that does cleaning of toilets. It's not an easy job, and it's particularly bad on a campsite. I don't know why. I don't know what kind of people, that's going to sound really offensive, but I don't know what kind of people turn up to a campsite and just leave all sorts of crap everywhere, just tissue all over the floor. Sometimes there's like, I mean, I'm not even joking, like poo in the shower. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So that aspect of it I didn't really enjoy. And maybe I just don't have the disposition for it. I just thoroughly did not enjoy it. Like, I got on with it and I did it because, you know, it's what, you know, granted, it is one of the most important jobs. If you ever read reviews online for campsites, most people talk about the cleanliness of the toilets, whether the facilities are cleaned enough, whether they're in good condition, you know, is the water hot, etc., etc. So the toilets are literally the most paramount job. Like, if you're looking for importance in terms of a role, that's up there. You know, that is literally the numero uno job. So, you know, in some ways, it was a very important role for me to be performing and doing and making sure I did to the best of my ability. But equally, you know, it was like a thankless task, and you were always up against it. Like, my boss at the time sent me a message and said, and it offended me a little bit, because I'm the kind of person, if I'm going to do a job, I do a job properly. You know, yes, okay, I didn't enjoy it, but I worked my butt off and I did it to the best of my ability. And she messaged me and said, oh, do you need some more training? Because we had some bad reviews left at the weekend about the toilets. Now, I'm not being funny, right? I can clean one of the toilets, and within one person going in can just absolutely destroy it. And then the next person goes in, sees it destroyed, and thinks, oh, they don't keep these in good condition. The heck are you talking about? Like, you can't just permanently be there cleaning after every single person that goes in. So, you know, there's that, and then there's also the fact that, like, yeah, it felt thankless, because you know, you could do such a good job and have it all looking sparkling clean, and within 10 minutes it's absolutely destroyed again. So, you know, I didn't like that aspect of it. It wasn't all I did. You know, I only did probably 12 hours a week, maybe 16 hours a week on cleaning the facilities, and the rest of my hours, which I think averaged about 7 a day in the end, were made up either working on the pub on site, which was my favourite role. I absolutely loved working on the pub on site. And then I also worked in the shop, checking in guests, filling up the shelves, because they had a few little, you know, cans of pop and some other little things that you could buy, cheese, butter, milk, snacks, pasta, you know, and then some like kids' toys and things like that. So doing that sort of stuff. When stock arrived, putting it all away somewhere and making sure, you know, it was ready to supply the shelves. So that was another job. I also used to mow the lawns, things like that. A little bit of maintenance. So I did some decking and put up some fences with one of the chaps that I worked with. So, you know, it was varied, and I enjoyed the variety of the role. But it got to the point where I just was so not happy with the facility side of things that I just couldn't continue anymore in that role. And so the way I got that position was I put up a Facebook post where I sort of sold myself about what I'm good at, what I can do, and why I would be a good employee for anybody on a campsite. And at the time, I didn't really think that I would have much of an issue cleaning facilities. I was sort of up for anything. So I you know, when, in fairness, the campsite that employed me in the Yorkshire Dales, they said, you know, there's going to be lots of facilities cleaning, and I was like, yep, I'm up for that, let's go. So yeah, and like I say, I just want to make it absolutely clear, anybody that does that job, my hat literally does go off to you. It is not an easy job. It is not something that you know, it's not even something that borderline should exist. Like, we should all really be able to clean up after ourselves. But you know, one person destroys it, the next person that goes in, they're hardly going to want to clean up after that person that's just been in. You know, they'll clean their own mess, but if it's already messy, they're just going to add to the mess. So yeah, so I put my post up on Facebook, they employed me, and I got a couple of people message me off of the back of that, and one of them was in Scotland, and I was in talks with that lady. I told her that I was going to take the position in the Yorkshire Dales because she couldn't offer me anything at that juncture. Turns out, after I did probably about 2 months in the Dales, and then I messaged her and said, are you still looking for somebody to fill that role that you've been talking about? And she said yes, and you could start at the beginning of July. So I then set in motion telling the campsite that I was working at that I was going to move to Scotland and take up a new position, and that's when I came here. So I've been here for roughly a month now, actually. I think I started on the 6th and today's the 5th. So yeah, just shy of a month, or pretty much spot on a month. And yeah, it's awesome. I work 7:30 till 11:30 at night. It's a 94-acre campsite, and I walk around the campsite, make sure people aren't having fires. I do check the toilets, but I just check for toilet roll and make sure there's no tissue on the floor. It doesn't take too long, and I don't mind that. And I also lock the gate, and I open the gate at 7 o'clock in the morning. It's like a gated community. As I say, it's a 94-acre site, so they've got lots of cabins, they've got loads of pitches, they've got lots of hard standing pitches. It's a huge site to get around. They've got like 3 loops and loads of places with caravans on as well, on hard standing. They have seasonal guests that stay sort of 11 months of the year, because you can only stay for 11 months on a site. You have to take 1 month out somewhere else. And yeah, it's a really enjoyable role. Like, I really like it. I do work in the shop as well from about 7:30 till the shop shuts at 8, but normally there's a little bit of carry through till about 8:30. I've got a little electric van that I can bop around in because it's such a big site. Sometimes if something happens and you need to be somewhere quickly, then you can hop in the van and go to them. You know, I helped somebody with their electric hookup. You're just basically on call. I look after the warden phone all the way through the night, and if there's any calls about noise, complaints or anything like that, then I can head on down and speak to them. And I didn't really perform that role at the old campsite I was at, and I tell you, it has been an interesting learning curve, walking up to people and being like, oh, there's no fires allowed. Because in the cairngorms at the moment, I don't know if people have seen, but there's been a really bad fire up towards Glencoe, and so they have a ban on the cairngorms on fires between April and September, I think it is, maybe May and September. And so nobody's allowed to have any fires. The only thing you can have is gas fires. no wood, no barbecues, things like that. So sometimes people bring those disposable barbecues. They're a hard no. The floor is like peat, and you can get like underground fires, which is mental, by the way. I only learned about that recently. And it can travel, and then it can come up again in a different place and set alight of wood. And it's a very wooded area where I work, so it is quite dangerous to have fires. So walking up to people and saying like, oh, there's no fires allowed when they're having a fire, you know, when you're going camping, you kind of expect yourself to be able to have a fire. So it's like being a bouncer a little bit, walking up and going in my high vis and being like, oh, I'm really sorry guys to, you know, ruin the party, but I'm gonna have to put out your fire. You know, I asked them to put it out first, but it sometimes you get some blowback, and why can't we have a fire? This is private land, it should be up to the owner. Well, yeah, it is up to the owner, and he's decided that, you know, he wants to align himself with the Cairngorm National Park rules, and so there is no fires. Oh, but we're camping, what are we going to do for our kids' food? How are we going to cook our food? We've spent this much on food, da 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 da. And it's like, well, I can't really help. All I can tell you is that fires are an absolute no-no. You know, it's hard to manage. It's hard to manage. There's only me walking around the entire campsite, and I can't be on looking after or making sure that everybody is adhering to some kind of fire safety rules. And it only takes one accident for it to go completely Pete Tong on a massive level. So it's a hard no, but yeah. So I do that as well. And yeah, like I say, I really enjoy this role. I really enjoy the job. It's only it's an open-ended contract until the end of August, but I'm fairly sure they'll pick me up for a different role, maybe on different hours at the end of that. So I'm looking forward to seeing where it takes me. The people are really nice. They've got a little shop, as I say, that I work in. Manager is super nice. Like, there's sort of like a maintenance manager, and then there's sort of a shop sort of employee manager, and they're both super nice. The rest of the team is really, really nice, and it's a lot more functional than the previous campsite. And what I mean, well, a lot more organised, I guess I could say. One thing that I didn't mention about the other campsite I was working at, and something else that I didn't enjoy, was the split shifts. And unfortunately, for one reason or another, the owners didn't really have much trust with their employees. I think they got burnt by some previous employees who were taking the mick a little bit, and so they kept all their cards kind of close to their chest. And what that meant was that in the Dales, I was being given my hours sometimes the morning of the day, or like the night before at sort of 10 p.m, because he did it on sort of like a rolling way based on what demands were going to be needed for the next day. So you didn't really have a set rota, and so within that I couldn't really organise myself very well. I was struggling to organise my days and know what I wanted to get up to, and when I was going to squeeze this in, when I was going to squeeze that in, when was I going to go to the shop, etc, etc. So it was quite, you know, that, and the split shifts was like starting work, getting up at 6 to start work at 7, working till 11, then having 5 or 6 hours off and going back into work until 9, sometimes 10 p.m, and then starting again at 7 o'clock in the morning. I was full on knackered a lot of the time. The reason why I chose van life was to sort of create a bit more of a work-life balance, and I found that I wasn't really having that balance, especially with the split shifts, because yes, okay, I got that time off during the middle of the day, but I wasn't like utilising it, because I was sort of sitting there waiting for to go back to work again. So yeah, that was really tricky. Now at this new campsite that I'm working at, I know my hours, I know when I'm going in, I can organise myself a lot better, and I love that. Bloody hell, that was a long old description of what's going on. But anyway, one of some of the benefits to living and working on a campsite. So obviously you get your free pitch, which comes with a certain level of safety. You know where your van is, you know that it's not going to get messed with, you know that, like, especially in this one I'm at the moment, it's like a locked community, a gated community, so you know there is some safety in that. Nobody's going to come along and tell you to move on. Nobody's going to say, you know, you shouldn't be here or whatever, and that is a benefit. The other benefits are that you have got electric hookup. At my previous job, the hookup was free, so you didn't pay for that. But at this role, I pay for my electric hookup. But it does, it's not that expensive, and it is a perk being able to just be always plugged in. You can use things like kettles and a little bit more of your power. I can use my water heater to turn on my hot water in the van, and I don't have to worry about my battery, leisure battery, going through cycles, depleting, topping it back up, depleting it, topping it back up. I'm just permanently hooked up and using it straight from source. So I'm sort of bypassing my leisure battery. So that's another benefit. Another one is, I have my awning. So I've recently purchased that. Absolutely love it. It gives me a bit more space outside of the van, gives me a little bit more privacy as well. And because I'm a tall person, it's a space where I can have my chair and my table, and I can stand up straight, I can exercise, I can do a variety of things in that space, and I love that. And then another benefit is water. Don't have to worry about running out of water. On my pitch, I'm on the only pitch on the campsite that is actually full service. I actually have a little grey waste area that I can dispose my grey waste as well. However, I don't use it because mine's directly underneath the van and I can't line it up in the right place. But yeah, I have a water point on my campsite, so I can fill up my water without having to move the van even. And then because I go out about once a week on my days off, there is a proper grey waste area, so I can pull up in that little area, unrelease my valve, let that drop out, and then I'm back on the road again. You've also got bins on site, so I never really have to worry about my rubbish, where I'm going to put my rubbish. As soon as my bin's full, I just go and walk it to the big set of bins, and that's dealt with as well. So yeah, there are a lot of little perks, like I say, to living on a campsite. This is why I think that, like I said earlier, it's a bit of a halfway point, because there are some of these benefits that normally when you're living on the road, which I have done for sort of months at a time, you have to juggle all this stuff. You have to juggle your electric, juggle your water, juggle your grey waste, knowing how full it is, when do you need to visit somewhere to get that sorted. And it can be like tiring a little bit, having to keep hold of all of that. But I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying working on this campsite. I'm really enjoying, the flexibility that it gives me. Because I'm working in the evenings, I do have my days free at the moment to be able to do a variety of things. As you know, I'm doing this 30-day challenge, so having the days free to be able to go out, film a video, edit it, upload it, and then be able to go to work really suits me. It really suits what I'm about at the moment. Who knows where that's going to be in the future. I don't know what's going to happen with this role, with this job, whether they're going to still need people whether they're still going to need me to go out in the evenings once the nights draw, darker again, which is very sad, isn't it? Don't want that. I mean, I don't mind winter. I've got a diesel heater, but living in a van during the summer is so much nicer because you just get that light for so much longer. But yeah, I don't know where I'm going to be. But there you go. That's a little synopsis of what van life is like living on a campsite. And I hope you've enjoyed my TED talk that ended up, I feel like I've been talking for ages. 22 minutes. Crikey O'Reilly, this is going to be a longer video than I anticipated. I'm going to show you a little bit of the rest of my journey to Glencoe. It's absolutely pouring down the rain at the moment, but I'll say farewell when I get to the campsite. So I will see you in a little bit.
Not a member,
Nope.
Reggie, just the one night.
Yep.
Just yourself, no children, no pets.
Yep. And where are the toilets?
I'm just going to get
there. No worries. It's because I'm busting, that's why.
Any rubbish you have is again on the left.
Yeah,
so
cool.
back out.
If there's any pictures that I've got a Starlink that I just put on my skylight that goes up, so if there's any without any tree coverage, that would be perfect, but if not, it's no big deal.
No, we should be alright, I think. Down around the bottom and start come back up the other side.
Okay.
And stop.
Okay, perfect. Appreciate that, mate. Thank you.
You don't have a carnic or anything like to put out, do you? To the side?
No warning. Yeah, to be honest, any of these would be fine. I mean, I don't mind. Is that one free?
It's fine.
Yeah, is that all right? It just looks a bit flatter than here, if that's all right.
On there.
No worries. Brilliant. Thank you, mate. Cheers for your help. Cheers. See you later. Alright, so there we have it. I've arrived at the Camping and Caravan Club. That gentleman was super helpful and lovely. So I'm going to go and use the toilet because I am busting. But yeah, it's not a bad little park up this. Not a bad little park up at all. Very reasonably priced, by the way. It's like £27 with hookup. Pretty good. And it's like smack bang in the middle of whatever this place is, Glencoe. Like, I think Glencoe's a big place, but I'm next to loads of mountains and beautiful stuff. That drive was epic, lots of scenery. I was going to take you out and about to show you a little bit of the area, but this video is already going to be quite long with my big rambling in the front of the van. So anything that I do today, I'll include in tomorrow's video. So that's a wrap on day 5. I hope that you've enjoyed the video. Please give us a like and subscribe if you've enjoyed it and you want to carry on this journey of 30 videos in 30 days. And in the meantime, I hope you have great evenings/days, and I shall see you tomorrow for day 6. Alright, peace out.